Today I'm going to be speaking about something that's been bugging me for a while, and to answer the question of why do I call IAU a cope device? Now if you don't know what I mean by cope device, within the Twitch community mainly, you have a copium, which is what people like to inhale when they think that they are correct about something which is technically not going to make any difference. And this is nothing new or anything, it's just within the Twitch community that's usually what people call it. You know, in day-to-day life, how many times have you done something even though that you know it doesn't really do much, but you do it anyway? Or you say one thing because then it makes you think that you're doing something good. Or even when you blame something and in reality it's not going to make any difference if that something was to change. But why is IAU a cope device? Let me try and explain. In some circumstances, IAU is actually a viable equipment choice. However, a lot of people use it in the wrong way, in my opinion. I think that if the accuracy is below 0.33 or so, then realistically you don't need to use IAU. The reason being is going to give you such a negligible impact in your actual accuracy dispersion that you wouldn't actually notice it. On tanks that have like 0.35, or when you've fully maxed it out with everything else, so you got the crew skills, you got field mods, everything, and it's like 0.35, then maybe you could use IAU and get that down a little bit further. But for tanks like the Gorilla 15 and even the Leo 1, and I have been a person that has said this in the past, that maybe you could put IAU on a Leo 1, but in reality it's not really going to make much of a difference. The reason being is that this tank has 0.25 accuracy at 100 meters. Now this is actually with the DPM field mod. If I went to use the aim field mod, it will go down to 0.22. Now you may think that that is a massive difference. It's not. The thing is, there is a bigger factor that is going to affect where your shell goes than that 0.03 dispersion, and that is called RNG. And RNG does not care whether or not you have chosen 0.03 better dispersion or even 0.05 better dispersion. If the shell wants to go to the very edge of the reticle, it will go there. But let's just, for argument's sake, say that you want to use IAU with 0.25. How much does this actually improve? This is with Bounty Improved Aiming. It goes down to 0.23. That is not going to be noticeable. I'm sorry, if you think that you notice that, it is cope. Like, it's as simple as that. The reason why you might notice it is that you've then selected it, knowing in the back of your mind that you've selected it and your tank is now more accurate, and you think that you're now going to hit everything. I am telling you right now, I have chosen both of these, and it makes zero difference whether or not my shell will go directly where I aim it. The biggest factor of where your shell will go is RNG. Because below, I would say below about 0.28, right, the tank is pretty accurate. It's not amazingly accurate, but I would say it's pretty accurate. Because I can't really tell a difference between an STRV 103B when it's in siege mode with 0.18 dispersion and a tank that has 0.26 dispersion at 100 meters or even 300 meters. I physically cannot tell the difference. And that is because RNG is the biggest factor in this. As I said at the start, you could choose IAU. It's fine. But in reality, it does nothing for these types of tanks. Where IAU would help you out the most is where you have it on the extreme end. Where, for example, the KV2 has 0.53 dispersion. And because it's a percentage base, you are going to get more out of IAU if you use it on a bigger number than a smaller number. Remember, we gained 0.02 on a tank that had 0.25 dispersion. I wonder how much we're going to gain from 8% of 0.53. So the effect of IAU is actually double of what it would be on the Gorilla 15 when we use it on the KV2. Now, would you notice the difference? Maybe not. 0.49 is pretty abysmal, right? That is a pretty bad dispersion value. You could then go ahead and put vents on it and it would bring it down to 0.47. That is still really quite bad. But we use this as just a way of showing that it goes better when it's on the higher end. Now, just out of interest, how much would we gain for a tank that is on 0.35 dispersion? If we go ahead and put it on an IS-7, I don't recommend putting it on an IS-7, but here you go. You would go down to 0.03, which again is not really that much more. But it is bringing it down to a stage where it's getting closer to that kind of more comfortable accuracy around about 0.3. And just as a reminder, all of these numbers are either rounded up or down to the closest decimal. I'm pretty sure they're rounded up in a way where if, for example, you had a number 1 and a number 2, and the number was 1.5, it would then go up to 2 instead of down to 1. So this number is not actually that representative of what you actually have, because it is actually got more decimal places than that. For example, when we go into 705A and then we click this, it shows 0.36. But as you can see, we're only getting minus 0.03, which would mean that it should be 0.37. But because that number is closer to 0.36 than it is to 0.37, it is going to be rounded down. So now that you understand why IAU is, in my opinion, a pretty dumb equipment choice on majority of tanks, I wanted to go into field mods and how they affect different vehicles. So I wanted to see whether or not there was a difference between the 0.25 and the 0.22. I do kind of want to try something. Goes to 0.25. Because I mean, to be honest, it doesn't even feel like 0.22. Should we try this? I want to see how bad it is. Now we just sit and we wait. Don't know why I done that. With minus 3k, I'm going to need to move back. My team is not playing this game. Like, literally just not. I would like shots on this guy. I won't lie, chat. I am not seeing much difference between the 0.22 and the 0.25. Don't know how that doesn't do damage, to be fair. .279 had fun. We're not going to have shots at that guy though. We did hit that one blind. Still a Yak Tiger that's unspotted, which is a little bit worrying. If the VKK goes back out this way, then I can shoot him. That's not good. Thing is, I can't really push anywhere because of the lion. Did the V5 just get ammo racked by that? You can clip him though. Nice. Okay. I'm sure he had fun. Of course you can't push, you're a TD, you're not allowed to move. Very true. Triangle no move, triangle stay. No time to go out to play, you know? Feels bad, man. Found him. I think I prefer this tank with DPM. I don't see the point of that other field mod. It's what I've been saying on and on and on. Like, when you go down below like 0.35, you won't notice a difference choosing aiming. If it's between like DPM and thingy and choosing IAU. He's running! That's illegal! Chat, triangle is I'm in a triangle. Oh. It's a triangle chase. That's what triangles get for running. Triangle is not allowed to move. Triangle must stay. Now, obviously, that is just one game that I played. And you could play many, many games, and you could have completely different results to me. But do you know what that is? RNG. I have played over 100 games with this tank using the 0.22 dispersion. And I have even put on the IAU with the improved dispersion, so then you would get it to, I think, 0.2 or 0.21. Roughly something around there. Obviously, it doesn't improve it that much because percentage values, remember. But I noticed zero difference when I moved from having the accuracy to DPM. And that is because RNG affects it more than what you can do to the tank. Why do you think that you get snapshot across the map by a random tank that has really, really bad base dispersion? I can tell you right now, it's not because they were using IAU. So is IAU and every single accuracy fill mod bad, and should you change them all right now? No, because, I mean, it's down to you at the end of the day. As I said right at the very start, it's okay to cope about something. If you enjoy it, use it, right? Godpack uses it on basically every single tank that he owns, and he has an immense addiction to improved aiming unit. But I think that if you approach this looking at it with an open mind, you'll notice that it really doesn't do much for the majority of tanks. And when speaking about field mods, I think it's very important. The only ones that I'm speaking about that you should maybe consider changing or testing for yourself is where it's between DPM and accuracy. For ones where it is the aim time or accuracy, you always choose the accuracy. Because if you can control the bloom of your vehicle, you do not care about the aim time. I have yet to come across a tank in the game where I want to have the aim time over accuracy. Even tanks that have absolutely awful aim time, I would still rather have the accuracy over the aim time. So go and test it out for yourself. I know the Gorilla 15 has it, a few light tanks have it as well. For example, look, even I have it on the RHM right now. Right? I have the accuracy over the reload time. But what would it do to my accuracy or DPM? It's basically nothing. So we should change that right now. I am not going to notice 0.01 dispersion difference. So go ahead, have a little mess around, see what you think, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.